You carry something you didn't choose, yet it chose you. It's silently inscribed beneath your skin, hidden in the spaces between your DNA, invisible to the eyes, but undeniably present, an ancestral prophecy. Not born from oracles or scrolls, but from the primordial breath that shaped your lineage. You felt it before. That strange sensation of repeating patterns that aren't yours. Dreams that feel like memories from other lives. Emotions with no clear cause, yet heavy with meaning. Beliefs that live inside you like tattoos inherited from the soul of your ancestors. This isn't coincidence. It's inheritance. And more than that, it's a calling. In many ancient traditions, it was said that certain bloodlines were born with a destiny carved into their veins, as if the blood carried a prophetic seed that would one day need to bloom. And that day might be today, because you are awakening. And in this awakening, everything that once lay dormant in your bones begins to whisper. You are not here by accident. You are the continuation of something much greater. This isn't about superstition. It's about codes, about science and mystery woven into your being. You're about to discover that your body is the temple, the book, and the key. That the prophecy haunting you was always meant to be fulfilled by you. And once you understand this, nothing will ever be the same. Are you ready to decipher what your blood has to say? You carry more than just your ancestors' physical traits. You carry choices that weren't yours, yet shape your choices every day. You carry ancient fears, silenced desires, unspoken pain, imprinted like symbols in a book that is your body. But this book isn't written in words. It's written in molecules, in invisible layers of information that science is only beginning to understand. Epigenetics. Epigenetics is the field that studies how environment, trauma, and life experiences can switch on or off parts of your genetic code. And more than that, how these marks don't vanish when we die, but are passed on. Picture this: your great-grandmother went hungry. That experience triggered genes related to the fear of scarcity. Those genes didn't disappear. They were transmitted, and now you, who have never known hunger, might feel a deep, inexplicable anxiety at the thought of not having enough. That's how prophecy takes root, not as a sentence, but as an inherited vibrational pattern. In ancient language, this would be called a family curse. In today's terms, it's an epigenetic legacy. Truthfully, both are correct. They're just different ways of naming the same phenomenon. And modern science is beginning to prove what shamans, oracles, and mystics have always known. What an ancestor lived through shapes who you are. But here's the most important part. Epigenetics is not fate. It's potential. The same science that reveals what you've inherited also shows you can rewrite that prophecy. That consciousness is a living pen. That thoughts, emotions, spiritual practices, and daily choices have the power to activate or silence codes within you. This means the prophecy you inherited doesn't have to be repeated. It can be transformed. Because even if the story began before you, the ending is still in your hands. Many people spend their lives searching for answers in sacred texts, Bibles, manuscripts, ancient prophecies etched in stone, leather, or parchment. They look to these for signs of what's to come. They hope to find in those words the meaning behind their pain, the reason for their journey, what they're supposed to do. But there's one text almost no one reads, even though they carry it with them at all times. Your body. Your body is the oldest manuscript you possess. It is a living text, written in layers, bones, blood, skin, breath, silence. Every scar, every allergy, every unexplained recurring sensation is a paragraph begging to be interpreted. Have you noticed? Certain pains show up at the same moments in your life. Specific illnesses repeat across your family line. Parts of your body tense up in particular situations, as if remembering something your mind has forgotten. That's your body speaking. And like any prophecy, the message isn't always clear, but it's always there. Now stop and think. If you had in your hands a book written just for you, where every word was shaped by your ancestors' journey, every metaphor drawn from your deepest fears, and every chapter aligned with your destiny, would you ignore it? Because that book is you. While most people read the Gospels that come from outside, the wisest learn to read the Gospels that come from within. Because there is something the great masters knew, from Jesus to Buddha, from Hermes to Jung. Revelation is not found in the text. It's found in the inner reading. And when you learn to decipher the symbols of your body, not just the physical ones, but the emotional and energetic ones, you begin to realize something extraordinary. The prophecy is not something that will happen. The prophecy is already happening in you. Your body is the message. Your awareness, the translator. Your free will, the pen that can write the next verse. Are you ready to read it? Prophecy doesn't arrive like thunder. It comes as a whisper, disguised as routine, as coincidence, as a pattern. You wake up at the same time every night, 3:33 a.m. You meet people who carry the same wounds as you. Life keeps placing you in front of the same dilemmas, the same mistakes, the same endings. And you ask yourself, why does this always happen to me? But the real question is, what is this trying to show me? The ancestral prophecy you carry doesn't dwell in distant temples. It manifests in the way you love, in the crises that keep coming back, in how your body reacts to certain words, in the kind of pain the world insists on repeating until you finally listen. You see, it's not bad luck. It's not punishment. It's a cycle. And every cycle holds a key. Maybe you inherited a pattern of abandonment, or a silent legacy of scarcity. Maybe the women in your family were silenced, or the men emotionally absent. These patterns aren't just behavioral. They are energetic, vibrational, almost archetypal. And you are here now because you are the missing piece meant to break that cycle. You are the conscious link in an unconscious chain. And everything that keeps repeating in your life is not punishment. It's instruction. When you pay attention to the repetitions, the automatic reactions, the moments when you feel out of control, you begin to see the signature of prophecy at work. Why am I so afraid to speak? Why do I sabotage every relationship? Why can't I receive a compliment without discomfort? These questions don't point to flaws. They point to maps. Every behavior is a glyph. Every trauma, a symbol. Every repeated choice, an ancestral echo begging for release. Prophecy manifests every day, not as an unavoidable fate, but as a hidden compass within you, trying to remind you who you came here to be. Are you listening? You are not made only of flesh, bones, and memories. You are made of vibration. Quantum physics has already revealed something the ancients once called mystery, but today we can name it as a principle. Everything is energy. Everything vibrates. Everything communicates. And what does that have to do with the prophecy living inside you? Everything. Because the inheritance you carry is not just genetic, it's energetic. When an ancestor goes through intense trauma, like abandonment, persecution, or war, that trauma doesn't vanish when the body dies. It remains as a frequency. That frequency gets recorded in subtle fields, what many call the morphogenetic field, others the Akashic records, and what science is beginning to understand as quantum information fields. You are a receiver of those fields. That means even before you were born, you were already in resonance with stories, emotions, and patterns you inherited, not just through genes, but through vibrational layers that transcend time. It's as if the past is still happening inside you. And here comes something powerful. In quantum physics, there is the principle of entanglement. Particles that were once connected remain in communication, even when separated by light years. When one vibrates, the other responds instantly. Do you understand what that means? You are entangled with your ancestors, with their pain, with their gifts, with their unfulfilled promises. This is more than a metaphor. It's physics. You are connected to stories you never lived, but that live within you. Western science is only beginning to measure what ancestral traditions have known for millennia. You are a portal of healing for your lineage. When you break a pattern, you break it backward and forward. When you heal a wound, you ease the burden of those who came before and clear the path for those yet to come. When you transform, everything around you is transformed. This isn't just a poetic phrase. It's vibrational physics. It's the field collapsing into new realities. You are not a prisoner of the prophecy you carry. You are the activator, the reader, the rewriter, and your pen is made of conscious choice, presence, and rising energy. Because what vibrates shapes what becomes visible, and the prophecy is waiting for you to shift your frequency. You might not remember the exact moment you awakened, but your body does. In my case, it was a pain in my chest that came and went, always around the same time of year. No test could find a cause. No medication brought relief. And over time, I began to treat it as just part of life, one of those unexplainable things we learn to carry. But deep down, something in me knew it wasn't physical. It was symbolic. It was during a deep breathing session, one of those where you feel like you're touching something greater than yourself, that the memory surfaced. And it wasn't mine. It belonged to my grandmother. She lost a child, the brother my mother never met. A baby boy who died on an autumn day during a storm. The date? The same one when my chest pain always returned. And for the first time, I understood. What the body carries, the rational mind doesn't always grasp. But the soul knows. It has always known. I started diving into my family's stories. I discovered a pattern of child loss across generations. Children who died young. Mothers who never forgave themselves. And along with that, a heavy silence around those events, as if the pain had been pushed into the dark corners of the collective memory. I was carrying that pain, even though I had never lived it myself. And at that point, something inside me broke, or maybe opened. I realized the ancestral prophecy wasn't a sentence. It was a calling to remember, to heal, and to release. I began writing letters to those babies who never knew life, creating small rituals of acknowledgement, allowing the tears that were never shed to finally be heard. And something magical happened. The chest pain stopped. Not like a sudden miracle, but like a cycle that had finally found its closing chapter. That day, I realized the prophecy living inside me wasn't about repeating tragedies. It was about having the courage to bring closure to unfinished stories. You may not yet know what inherited pain lives in you. Maybe it shows up as anxiety, scarcity, unexplained anger, or exhaustion without cause. But I can tell you one thing, it's real. It has roots, and it can be released. The prophecy is alive, and it's waiting for someone like you to turn it into redemption. You don't need a divine revelation to understand the prophecy that lives inside you. You need to listen. The language of your ancestral lineage doesn't speak in words. It speaks in sensations, in patterns, in symbols. And there are specific ways to translate it. Techniques that, when practiced with consistency and presence, reveal the message that has been asleep in your body, waiting to be read. Here are 7 practical keys to begin this inner reading. 1. Intuitive writing with your non-dominant hand. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. Use the hand you don't usually write with. Take a deep breath, close your eyes and ask, what pain have I inherited that I still don't understand? Write without thinking, without judging. Just let it come. This exercise deprograms the rational filter and gives direct access to the unconscious, where the prophecy hides. 2. Mapping repetitions. Create a timeline of your life. Mark important moments, traumas, setbacks, breakups, illnesses. Now look closely. What patterns repeat? Which month of the year brings similar events? What feelings always show up before something goes wrong? Repetition is revelation. What repeats is trying to be seen. 3. Meditation with the body as an oracle. Lie down. Close your eyes. Gently move your attention through each part of your body. When you feel tension, tightness, numbness, or heat, ask, what is this part of me trying to remember? Listen to what arises, images, words, vague memories. The body responds in silence, but it never lies. For ancestral honoring ritual, build a small altar. It can include photos, candles, stones, family heirlooms. Sit in front of it and say out loud, I see you, I feel you, and with love, I choose to heal what was left unresolved. This ritual isn't religious. It's vibrational. It repositions you as the conscious link in a chain that longs to be transformed. 5. Emotional release breathing. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 8 seconds. During the exhale, visualize yourself releasing a pattern that no longer belongs to you, like fear, guilt, or scarcity. Breath is the bridge between body and soul. Every conscious exhale is a rewritten page of your prophecy. 6. Dreams as messengers. Before sleep, ask mentally, what does my lineage want me to remember? Keep a notebook by your bed. Write down your dreams, even if they seem nonsensical. Dreams are the symbolic language of the unconscious, and often of your ancestors. 7. Rewriting inherited narratives. Choose a phrase that reflects a limiting inherited pattern. For example, no man can be trusted. Money isn't for people like us. Every woman in our family dies young. Write the phrase down. Look at it. Then write the new truth you choose. I am worthy of love and presence. Abundance recognizes me. Healing is possible in this lineage. Speak it out loud. Every day, conscious repetition heals unconscious repetition. These techniques aren't magical. They're tools for excavation. With them, you'll unearth the forgotten parts of your story, and with that, rewrite the role you came here to live. Because a prophecy only needs one thing to change: a body willing to listen and a spirit ready to transcend it. You are not lost. You are being remembered. Remembered that there is something inside you older than your name. Something that pulses with the strength of 1,000 voices. Something that waits, in silence, in dreams, in symptoms, to finally be heard. You carry a prophecy, not the kind written in sacred books, but the one engraved in your body long before you were born. It speaks of dormant gifts, of wounds that need healing, of stories that remained unfinished for generations until you. You are not the end of the line. You are the new beginning. And now, knowing this, you have a choice. You can keep living on autopilot, blaming the world for the same repeating cycles. Or you can stop, look within, and ask with courage, what within me belongs to the past? And what do I choose to transform from this moment on? Because prophecy is not fate. It's an invitation to be conscious, to be a bridge between worlds, to heal what you were told could never be healed. You can be the first to say, enough, the first to love freely, to prosper without guilt, to live with presence. And by doing so, you don't just heal yourself. You heal those who came before, and you protect those who are yet to come. The world doesn't need more distracted people. It needs awakened souls. You are here because you heard the call. And even without understanding everything, you chose to follow the path. So follow it. Return to the techniques. Watch for the signs. Honor your ancestors, but don't repeat their prisons. Allow yourself to write a new ending for a story that began centuries before you. Because you are the turning point, and when the prophecy is fulfilled, it will be because you chose to live your deepest truth. The prophecy was never out there. It was always here, within you, waiting for the right moment to awaken. And that moment is now.